So in this video, I'll be showing you how to host a website from your own computer. That's right, no paid hosting services required, no complex setup process involved. You can actually make your website go live from your home computer for free of cost. And obviously, since this website is hosted by your local computer, your computer must be turned on and connected to the internet all day if you want to make your website be live all day. Now you might think that you would need a static IP address in order to make this work, but let me assure you that you do not need a static IP address. It works even if you're behind a NAT. So I know that most of the ISPs, at least here in India, they disable or they do not allow their customers to host web servers from their internet connection. Most ISPs do this unless you subscribe to a business plan. But what I'm going to show you in this video is going to work for any internet connection, even with a mobile data. You don't need to have a static IP address in order to make this work. So without further ado, let me show you a step-by-step tutorial on how to host a website from your computer at absolutely free of cost. Before getting started, let me take a moment to thank the sponsors of this video. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, develop existing interests, and get lost in creativity. I've been using Skillshare for a while now, and I must say that it is one of the best platforms available out there to learn new things and follow your passion. For example, I've been taking this class called Productivity for Creatives by Thomas Frank, and I must say I really found it very informative and useful. And it really helped me to better organize my workflow and to be more productive. The thing I like about Skillshare the most is that you can watch unlimited classes for just $10 a month, and that too without any ads. You can also join Skillshare live classes to experience real-time inspiration as you connect with popular teachers around the world. Skillshare is always launching new classes, so if you're interested in something but you don't know where to learn it from, then make sure you check out Skillshare and you will most probably find the skill that you're looking for on Skillshare. And here's the good news. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to use the link in the description below will get to use Skillshare Premium for free for 1 whole month. So what are you waiting for? Hurry up and use the link in the description below to sign up for Skillshare and get 1 month of Skillshare Premium for absolutely free of cost. So go ahead, start exploring your creativity today. So the first thing you need is a web server, which is basically a software you have to install on your computer so that it can host, or in other words, it can serve the website that you want to host whenever someone sends it a request. So there are many web servers available, and one of the most popular ones is Apache. And we are going to use Apache in this video. We also need a database management system because we are going to use WordPress to actually create a website and host it. So we'll be using MySQL as the database management system. And in order to install these two, the web server and the database management system, you could just install XAMPP. XAMPP is basically a PHP development environment, which means it basically comes bundled with all the required tools in order to, develop and publish a website basically. So you can go to apachefriends.org and you can download XAMPP. It is available for Windows, Linux and OS X. And in case if you did not notice yet, I am going to do this in Windows. So I'm going to download XAMPP for Windows. So before doing that, I would just like to create a new folder, and I'm going to name this as My Awesome Website. That's a lame name, but it works for just the demonstration. So I'm just gonna save all the files inside this folder just to keep it organized. So I have downloaded XAMPP. Once it's downloaded, I'll just open it, and that should bring up the installation wizard for XAMPP. There you go. That's the installation wizard. Click on Next. And you don't have to change anything in the screen, just click on Next. So in this screen, you choose the installation directory of XAMPP. By default, it's going to install in your C drive. Now you can change this if you wish, but it is actually essential that you remember the directory where XAMPP is installed, because we will be needing it for other steps in this tutorial. So I am going to change my installation directory to my D drive. You don't have to do this, but it's just a personal choice. I would like to keep my XAMPP in my D drive in a folder called XAMPP. So I'm gonna set the directory as d:/XAMPP. Click on next again, next again, next, and that is going to install XAMPP on our computer. Now it's going to take a while for XAMPP to be installed, and meanwhile what you can do is you can go to wordpress.org/download and you can download WordPress source code. Now as I already said, we are going to use WordPress to create a website. If you don't know what WordPress is, it is basically a content management system using which you can build a website or a blog. You don't have to write code in order to build a website using WordPress. Of course, you can write code if you want to customize it, and you can do whatever you like. Once you install WordPress, you can go to your admin dashboard and customize your site as you want. You don't have to write any code. So I'm going to click on download WordPress. Make sure you download the latest version of WordPress, which in my case, as of making this video, is 5.8.1. So if I click download, it's going to download, and I'm going to download it to the same My Awesome Website folder. And I will just go to the downloads, and there you go. You can see that this is a zip archive, so you will have to unzip it. You can make use of any unzipping utility like WinZip or 7-zip. I'm going to extract it with 7-zip. So there you go, the extraction is done, and you can see these are all the source code files of WordPress. Now we need these files in order to install WordPress on our Apache server. So meanwhile, let's look at how XAMPP is doing in the background. So it is almost done, halfway done actually. So yep, just be patient and wait for XAMPP to install. So there you go. It seems like XAMPP has finished installing. If you click on finish, that should automatically bring up the XAMPP control panel, which looks like this. Now you can see there are different services available. We'll need the first two services, which are Apache and MySQL. Apache, as I said, is a web server. MySQL is a DBMS. So you can just start these two services by clicking on the start button beside them, and you can see once they're started, they appear green. And also one thing you need to keep a note of is the ports on which these services are running. For example, Apache is running on port 80 and 443. Port 80 is actually the default port of HTTP. And in the same way, MySQL is running on the port 3306, which is also the default port for MySQL. So you can actually change these ports to whatever you like, but I do not recommend changing them because it might bring some complications in other steps that we are going to follow in this tutorial. But if you know what you're doing, then go ahead and change the ports, and you can put whatever the port you want. Great. So in order to check if Apache is actually running or not, you can just open your browser and open a new tab and go to localhost, and that should bring you a XAMPP default page like this. So this, if you see this page, it means that your XAMPP is successfully up, and also your Apache is running as expected on port 80. So the next step you need to do is you need to set up the database so that WordPress can use it. In order to do that, just click on PHP MyAdmin over here, and you will be taken to a web page like this. This is basically an admin console to manage the DBMS, the MySQL DBMS. You can create databases, create tables, create user accounts, etc. Using PHP MyAdmin. It's basically like a web admin console, right? So the first thing you need to do is you need to create a database for WordPress so that WordPress can use it. In order to do that, just click on New here and give the database a name. In my case, I'm just going to give it a name, WordPress DB. DB stands for database. So click on Create, and there you go, the database has been created. Now we also need to create user accounts so that WordPress can use these user account to authenticate with the MySQL backend database. So in order to do that, just click on privileges here and click on add user account, and you can give the username and password. So I'm going to choose the username as WordPress_user, and I'm going to choose the password as test password. Now you have to choose a strong password in order to stay safe, because if you choose a weak password like I did here, it is going to be very easy for hackers to crack your password. So make sure you choose a strong password there. And that's it. You just make sure that grant all privileges on database WordPress DB is checked here. And finally, just click on go. And there you go. It says you have added a new user. Now we are done setting up the database. Now is the time to install WordPress on our Apache server. In order to do that, go back to the WordPress source code files which you have extracted earlier. Just select all these files, copy, Ctrl+C to copy, and now come to the directory where XAMPP is installed. So in my case, it's installed in my D drive in the folder XAMPP. So this is my XAMPP installation directory, and inside this directory you will find a folder called htdocs. So just go to that folder, and over here just create a new folder, right click, select new and go to folder, and name this folder as WordPress because we are going to install WordPress in this folder. So go to this folder and paste all the WordPress source code files that you have copied. So what we are basically doing is we are installing WordPress inside this WordPress directory. Perfect. All the files are copied now. So now just open your browser, go to a new tab and type in localhost/WordPress. And that should bring up the installation page for WordPress. So there you go. Just select your language here. I'm just going to select English, click on continue, and let's go. Now you have to configure the database so that WordPress can use this database. So we have just created a database for WordPress to use. So I'm just going to name the database as WordPress DB because that's the name of the database that I've created. And the username is going to be WordPress_user. And the password that I've given is just test password, and just leave the database host to localhost and table prefix to WP_. Click on submit, click on run the installation, and this should install WordPress. And before doing that, it's going to ask you some details about your site, like the site title, for example. So I'm just going to give the site title as my awesome website. I know it's lame, but it works, as I said. And you actually get to choose the username and password that you will use to log into your WordPress dashboard here. So I'm just gonna set the username to Teja, and I'm gonna choose a password. By default, it's going to generate a strong password. I recommend you use the generated password because it is strong and very hard to crack. But I'm just gonna use a simple password like test password since this is just a demonstration. So put in your email there and click on install WordPress. And that should take around 5 to 7 seconds to install WordPress. There you go. It says success, WordPress has been installed. So it shows you a login button. If you click on the login button, you should be taken to this login page. So this means that you have successfully installed WordPress. So if you open a new tab and go to localhost/WordPress again, this time you should see your default WordPress website. There you go. This is the default WordPress website. Obviously, you can customize it any way you want by logging into your admin console, your WordPress admin dashboard, which I'm going to show. So go back to your login form and log in with your admin credentials. Click login, and there you go. This is how the dashboard will look like. So you can do anything. You can customize the site any way you want using this WordPress dashboard. For example, you can install new plugins, you can add new pages like about page, contact page, whatever it is. You can post new blog posts, you can moderate the comments, you can change the theme. Basically, you can do anything. I'm just gonna quickly click on customize your site, and this is going to bring up an editor like this. So over here, I can change the theme and I can choose whatever theme I like. I can search for themes, whatever, but I'm just going to go to site identity, and here I can change my site title, and I can also change the tagline. So I'm just going to put the tagline as created by Teja, something like that. You can also choose the site icon and everything. So once you're done making these changes, just click on publish, and the changes are going to be published to the live site. So you get the idea. You can customize the site the way you want, but that is out of scope for this video. So if I just go to localhost/WordPress again, there you go. This is my simple website that I created with WordPress. Perfect. Now you can see that this is actually hosted on my localhost, which means it's only accessible within my network. It can't be accessed from outside my network, or in other words, it cannot be accessed from the internet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make this WordPress website that we just created accessible from the internet. So the first thing you need to do is come back to your WordPress dashboard, and you have to install a plugin. So just go to plugins, click on add new, and search for a plugin called Remove HTTP. So this is the plugin that you have to install. It goes like Remove HTTP Fix Mixed Content Warning. Now it's essential that you install this plugin, because if you don't install it, you're going to face some issues later. So just click on Install Now and click on Activate, which is going to activate this plugin on your WordPress site. The next thing you have to do is you have to download a tool called as Packet Riot. So what it basically does is it creates a secure tunnel from your local host to the internet. So what we are doing right now is we are hosting our WordPress website on our local host. So by using Packet Riot, what we can do is we can create a proxy, or in other words, a secure tunnel from our local host to the servers of Packet Riot. So when someone tries to access our website, Packet Riot takes care of proxying all that traffic through the secure tunnel to our local host. In this way, anyone on the internet will be able to access and interact with the website that we are hosting on our local host, on our local computer. So let's do that. So you can go to packetriot.com and sign up for free. It's absolutely free to use. So you can create a new account. And I've actually already have an account. So I'm going to log into my Packet Riot account right now. And this is how the dashboard will look like once you logged in. So just click on downloads, and it's available for different operating systems. So just scroll down, and I'm going to download the Packet Riot for Windows 64-bit. So just click on it, and that should begin the download. Awesome. Now I'm just going to extract this downloaded zip file using 7-zip. And if I go inside this directory, this is the packetriot.exe file, which is the actual tool that we'll be using. Now I recommend you to add this to your path variable so that you can access this tool from any directory. So in order to do that, just select this path, right click, copy, go to your start menu and search for environment variables, and you will see an option that says edit the system environment variables. So if we click on that, a pop-up like this comes up, and then click on environment variables. Under user variables, select path, double click on it, and here click on new and paste the path to the packetriot.exe file here. Click OK, OK, and OK again. So now if you open your Windows terminal or the command prompt, and if you type in packetriot.exe, you should see usage instructions like this. So the first thing you need to do is you need to configure Packet Riot. In order to do that, just type in packetriot.exe space configure and select the path to the configuration file, and then you need to authenticate with your login credentials. So I'll just log in with my credentials here. So there you go, it says authenticated, and now is the time for you to choose the region which is geographically closer to you. So I'm going to choose Asia Southeast here, and that's it. Great. So the configuration is done. It will also show you the host name, which is going to be unique for you. So this is not going to change. This is basically assigned to you. It's a unique host name assigned to you, and we'll actually need this host name to do stuff. So next thing you can do is you can change the name of your tunnel. In order to do that, type in packetriot.exe space edit space -- name, and then followed by the name you want to give to your tunnel. So I'm just going to say the name as WordPress_tunnel. And if I hit enter, there you go, it says tunnel name updated. In order to cross check this, if you go to your Packet Riot dashboard, go to Packet Riot dashboard, go to tunnels, you can see there is a tunnel named WordPress_tunnel, and you'll also be able to see the host name. So now comes the moment of truth. We need to now expose our local host to the internet so that anyone can access our WordPress website. So in order to do that, you just have to add a HTTP service to the Packet Riot tunnel that we have just created. So just type in the command packetriot.exe space tunnel http add -- domain, and then mention the host name that is assigned to you, which in my case is this. So I'll just copy this, I'll paste it here, space -- destination localhost, because that's where our WordPress site is running, space --http, and then port 80, because port 80 is where our Apache server is running, and followed by -- let's encrypt. So we are using Let's Encrypt to enable SSL so that our URL will be HTTPS or not just HTTP. So it will be more secure. So if I hit enter, it seems like we have missed something. Oh, it's actually going to be --HTTP. If I hit enter now, there you go. It says HTTP traffic rule added. Perfect. So if I say packet.riot.exe space info, you can see that the HTTP service is added with the domain, which is basically just the unique host name that is assigned to you by Packet Riot. And you can see the destination is localhost, the port is 80. So now in order to start Packet Riot, just type in packet.riot.exe space start, and that should take a little bit of time to start the Packet Riot tunnel. So now I'll just copy this domain name and I will go to this domain name in my browser, and that should bring me up my XAMPP default page. So this means that my local host is successfully exposed to the internet. Now I can access my local host from anywhere on the internet. Perfect. But what about our WordPress site? So in order to access the WordPress site, you have to go to /WordPress because we installed it in a subdirectory called WordPress. So just go to your domain name followed by /WordPress, and that should bring you your WordPress website. But something is wrong here. If you could notice, you can see that the URL is just localhost /WordPress. Well, this means that we are not actually accessing our WordPress website from the internet. We are just accessing on our local host, which is not exactly what we want, right? Because we want to access our website from the internet, not on the local host. Well, in order to fix this, you need to make some changes with the wp-config.php file. So just open your XAMPP directory and come to htdocs, go to WordPress, and you will find a file named wp-config.php. So just open it with any text editor you like. I'm opening it with brackets. And over here, you will find a comment that says add any custom values between this line and the stop editing line. So in between these two comments, we need to actually declare two defined statements. The first defined statement is going to be define wp_home, and we are going to define it with our host name, which is IC glitter something. So just copy your host name here and just say http:// followed by your host name followed by /WordPress. So basically what we are doing is we are assigning the WordPress home to this URL so that the WordPress knows that its URL is this. And the same way we are going to do another defined statement. This time we're going to say wp_site URL, and we are going to give the same URL for this as well. And that's it. Once you're done, just save it, Ctrl S to save. And now if you go back to your host name, to your domain, I'll just copy this and paste it in my browser, and I'll say /WordPress at the end. And this time, as you could see, we are able to access our WordPress website. And you can have a look at the URL as well. We are actually accessing it from the internet, from the domain name that is given to us by Packet Riot. How cool is that? We are not hosting our website on any hosting provider. We are hosting it literally right from our computer, and people are able to access our website from the internet. That's cool, right? Now, you might ask, what if you want to change this domain name? What if you want to use your own custom domain name here? Well, that's absolutely possible. But before doing that, you obviously need to have your own domain name. So I went ahead and I purchased a domain for myself. The domain is mylocalsite.online. I purchased it from Hostlinger, and it costed me like 75 rupees for one whole year, which is very cheap. It's like $1 for one whole year, which is awesome. But you can also get a free domain at Freenom or any other services you would be aware of. So you need to change the DNS settings of your domain in order to link it with Packet Riot. In order to do that, just go to your Packet Riot dashboard and click on custom, and over here click on verify domain, and just enter the domain which you own, which in my case is mylocalsite.online, and click submit. And now it will show you the next steps that you need to follow. And basically what you have to do is you have to copy this text right here and go back to your DNS settings on your domain provider, domain name provider. In my case, it's Hostlinger. Come to your DNS settings, and here you have to create a new DNS record with the type txt. And for the name, just let it be as @ and for the txt value just paste the string that you copied from the packet riot dashboard, and for the ttl put it as 60 and click on add record. So what this is going to do is it's basically going to link your custom domain with packet riot so that you can use it with your WordPress website or whatever the site you're trying to host from your local host or your local computer, in other words. So you have to wait for some time until these DNS changes propagate, and there you go. It shows a green tick symbol, which means the domain is successfully linked with packet riot. Now we can use it for our website. So before doing that, I'm going to first create a subdomain for my domain. So I'm going to go back to my DNS settings, and this time I'm going to add a CNAME record, and in the name I'm going to put it as WordPress, because I want my subdomain to be wordpress.mylocalsite.online. So I'll put WordPress here. You could put whatever you want there. And for the target, you need to insert your host name, the host name that is given to you by Packet Riot. In my case, it is going to be this one. So I'm going to copy this host name. I'm going to put it in target, and I'm going to put this as 1800, the TTL, and click on add record. That's it. So now we can assign this subdomain wordpress.mylocalsite.online to my WordPress website. And in order to do that, I'll go back to my Windows terminal. I'll stop my packet riot, and I'm going to add another packet riot HTTP service. So I'm going to say packet riot.exe space tunnel HTTP add -- domain, and in this case my domain is going to be wordpress.mylocalsite.online, followed by destination, which is localhost, and then -- HTTP and the port 80, which is where Apache is running on, and then -- let's encrypt so that we get a HTTPS. So if I hit enter, okay, it seems like I misspelled packet riot there. I'm gonna fix that error. There you go. It says HTTP traffic rule added. So if I say packet riot.exe info, you can see that we have successfully added a new HTTP service with the domain wordpress.mylocalsite.online. So this is the custom domain that we are using. This is the domain that we own and we are using for our WordPress website. So in order to start packet riot, you already know how to start it. Just say packet riot.exe space start, and that's going to start packet riot. So packet riot has started. I'm going to go ahead and check if this is actually working or not. So I'll just go to wordpress.mylocalsite.online, and I'm going to hit enter. There you go. It shows you the XAMPP default page, but we know what this means, right? This means that our localhost is exposed and we are able to access it from our own custom domain right here. So if I just go to /WordPress here, that is going to show me my WordPress site that I just created. But wait, there's actually one more thing you need to do. If you look at the URL, it's still pointing to our unique host name, which is not really our custom domain which we want to use. This is because we have to change in the wp.config file. We have to change this to our custom domain. So just come back to your wp config file and change these two define statements to your new subdomain, which is going to be WordPress .mylocalsite.online /WordPress, and I'm gonna copy the same thing for wp_site URL as well. That's it. I'm just gonna save that, and now if I go to wordpress.mylocalsite.online /WordPress, there you go. Now you can see that we are able to access our website, and you can also look at the URL. It is actually pointing to wordpress.mylocalsite.online, which is the custom domain that we are using. And you can also see that the connection is secure, which means we are using HTTPS, and the certificate is encrypted. I mean, the certificate is provided by Let's Encrypt, which is great. So we achieved it. We are now able to host a website from our own computer without having to rely upon any hosting provider. And we're also doing that with a custom domain name. This can be any domain name that you own. So you can use any other content management system or any other framework. You don't have to necessarily use WordPress. You can use Drupal, or you can use any web development framework, and you will still be able to expose your website or your web app to the whole internet without having to use any hosting provider. And we were able to do this all with the help of Packet Riot. So thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up below. And also, if you have any doubts regarding this video, make sure you leave those comments, those doubts, those feedback in the comment section below. I will try to go through all of your comments and I'll try my best to clear your doubts. So thanks for watching once again. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, cheers.